As we all know, the Star of Bethlehem is what led the wise men to see the newborn baby Jesus. Now, archaeologists have discovered what may be the home in Nazareth where Jesus grew up. Ken Dark, professor of archaeology and history at the University of Reading, joins us now from London. And Ken, this is pretty exciting stuff, even though there's really no hard evidence to say it was in fact Jesus's home, but you say it is a possibility. Why is that?
All we can say about the site is that the Byzantines, the Romans after they'd become Christian, thought that this was where Jesus had grown up. So they built a big church on the site in the 5th century, and that replaced a smaller cave church, a church carved into the rock. Just next to the site, it's on a rocky hillside, and that dates back to at least the 4th century. So that church, we believe, was visited by a pilgrim called a Guerrier, a Catholic pilgrim in the 4th century, and she thought that the Virgin Mary lived near that house. She thought she lived in that cave, but at that site.
Yeah, you said there was evidence that a Jewish family lived in that home. How did you figure that out?
Okay, so we found cooking pottery and other objects associated with family life. But among those also there's evidence of limestone vessels, vessels cut out of the rock. They look like pots, but they're rock. And these were used by Jews in the time of Jesus to purify water, because limestone could not become ritually impure. So if you find these vessels, you pretty much know you're dealing with a Jewish family.
Yeah, it's really amazing. You also said there was evidence of what you call quality construction. Now, we all know Joseph was a carpenter. Talk about how the house was built.
Well, the evidence for how the house was built is really quite fascinating, because it was cut back into a rocky hillside. I've mentioned the rocky hillside already. And whereas they would have normally built up the walls with stone and mortar, they did the sensible thing of, as they cut back the hillside to create a flat terrace on which the house could stand, they left bits to make the walls, and there's one of the walls, for example, still standing, has a door cut through it, and they left another bit to make a flight of steps. But what's really fascinating is whoever did this knew a lot about the properties of the local stone, more than you might expect. And of course, the word actually used for Jesus and Joseph in the Bible is for their occupation is tekton, and tekton usually is translated in the West as carpenter, but is a Greek word meaning a craftsman skilled in construction.
Wow.
So who knows?
Very interesting. Now, can people visit the site now?
Unfortunately, it's right in the middle of a working Catholic convent, and so unfortunately, no, people can't. You can go there under very strictly controlled circumstances as pilgrim groups, and sometimes by private appointment.
Wow, well, we'll have to read up on everything that you've been studying. Ken Dark, professor of archaeology and history at the University of Reading. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.